Hey everyone. So in this first video, we're going to be talking about how you enter and store matrices in your graphing calculator. Okay, so storing matrices, right? This is awesome right now. So you've got to have a graphing calculator. Yours does not have to be a TI-84 Plus. This is just what I happen to have on my computer to share, but they're all generally going to work the same way. So in order to do this, I'm going to go ahead and you might see it, and this is really great. Like I encourage you to just play around with your calculator in general. You see this word right here, matrix? So in order to store matrices, I'm going to go to second. I'm actually going to clear my calculator first. Second plus 712. Okay, and you might want to do the same thing, just that you're starting with like a fresh calculator. So I'm going to go to second matrix. Second, it's that x to the power of -1. That's inverse, isn't it? Is going to take you to these matrices. Okay, and what you see up here is it says names, math, and edit. And names right now, there's nothing stored here, but this is where they're going to end up being stored. We're going to have to keep coming back to this page in order to recall and use our matrices. If we go to edit, that's how we edit them. That's how we put them in, right? And if we go to math, you can kind of look at this list here of what these different things mean. Like here's determinant, here's transpose, here's dimensions. There, identity. We haven't really talked about augmented. Some of you guys might explore that a little bit later. This is something like REF and REF, reduced row echelon form, maybe those are things that you've heard, are things that some of you guys might explore a bit later on in this lesson, but that is something that you may be working with in pre-calculus and just later on in general. So that will come back up when we do vectors. You can kind of just go through and see those different things. Edit is where we want to be right now. So this is why so often we will name matrices so that we can talk about it. And if you want to remember what you're storing it as. So I'm going to say I want matrix A to be, let's say we wanted to put this in. Right, and then in B, I'm going to put, let's go and put those two. Okay, so I'm in edit. Just pay attention to where you are. Push enter, and the first thing it asks you is for the dimensions up here. Well, if I put A in there, I'm going to be doing a 3 by 3. 3 by 3. Oh, sorry. 3. Gosh. Sorry about that. 3 by 3. And you can see it change. Right? So I'm going to go ahead and put it in. 7, 2. It goes in the order, right? We're going down that row first. 7, 2, 3. And just be careful, right? Mistakes happen. Pay attention when you're entering. This is the negative. Right? So now that's there. Okay? If I want to go back and enter another matrix, I'm going to go back to second matrix. And you can now see that it's now there. Right? If I want to edit it, let's say I did something wrong or I'm like, oh man, something must have happened, I would go back here and I can change the dimensions or I can change any of those entries. Right, so second matrix, I'm going to put in that other one. No, man, got click happy. I'm going to go down to B, and this one that I've written down is a 2 by 2. Right, and so I've got 2, 5, 8, 6. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my home page. So second mode, there's a quit right here that takes you back to the home page. Let's say I want to recall these. I could go ahead and say, let's say I was going to do, I want to do 2 times A. That's what my goal is. I'm going to do 2, and then let's recall it. Second matrix. I'm not going to go to edit because I'm not editing it. I'm just pulling up that name. A, enter. Whoa, there's my answer. We could have done that. That's okay. Something that's really neat too is this is my answer. Let's say I wasn't done and I was going to be using this. Okay, let's say I was going to be multiplying this and really my goal was to do 2A times A. I don't really know. I'm sure I could have done this differently. That's just, it's fine. I'm going to go ahead and actually store this. And this you can actually do with numbers as well. So like things that when you don't want to round, which we will be talking about later. I'm going to go down here to where it says STO, which is store. I'm going to click it. So you get this little arrow. I just clicked it after I got that as my answer. And I'm going to go ahead and push second matrix. And I'm going to store it as C. Okay. Now watch this. When I go back to second matrix, there's a 3x3 matrix there. I can go in and edit it. Oh, no, sorry. Second matrix. I can go in and edit it. And let's see, it's going to be, it should be the matrix I just got when I doubled this, right? Pretty neat. So like if you're going to go back and you want to check your work, right? Like maybe things like you found the inverse and you want to check and see, did A times A inverse really equal to the identity matrix? You can store things in your calculator and not have to retype them over and over because it can get tedious. So this is just a brief lesson on how you store. On the next slide, you are going to be going through and storing some matrices into your calculator. Please make sure that you do because you're going to be using them throughout the rest of this lesson. Thanks, everyone.